What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Now this week's episode is all about the ban list and what we can expect to see in this upcoming ban list. And we don't really know if or when we're gonna get the ban list, because we got this ban list, what was it, like maybe a couple months ago, back in February, and don't get me wrong, it did change the meta just a little bit, but not by a lot. But before we get into this week's episode, guys, we are now officially 36 subs away from 200. We are drawing closer and closer to the goal, and as I've said in previous videos, if this channel gets to 200 subs, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neo's booster box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to potentially pull this guy, Elemental Hero Air Neos. However, if this channel gets to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. However, if the channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes of potentially pull my second ever collector's rare. Because if you guys remember my Genesis Impact box opening, I pulled this, the one and only collector's rare Beat Cop from the Underworld. Yeah, I know it's not like the most expensive one, but it has the potential to be a 10. And looking at it up close, it actually looks like it could be a 10. It legit has the... I swear, my uncle's dog just doesn't listen. She like barks at like nothing. But anyway, this has the potential to be a 10, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, if you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more deck profiles, premium live event predictions, and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And comment below answering the question of the day, which is this: what cards do you guys want to see get hit on the ban list? And what cards do you want to see get taken off the ban list, and why? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'm looking at the ban list from the February 13th list, and you guys know it was pretty fucking nasty. Artifact Scythe got hit, Barrier Statue of the Stormwind got hit, Tearlament Kid Kalos got hit, Sprite Elf got hit, and that was it. Those were the only cards that got hit on the ban list, which meant Floowandereeze got hit pretty badly because their win con was no more. Sprites got hit drastically with Elf getting banned, Kid Kalos getting banned, which meant that the Ishizu tier deck, it's still viable, but without Kid Kalos, you won't be able to summon Rukalos unless if you had like King of the Swamp or something like that. In which case, yeah, you can still play it, but it's not as like broken as it was when everything was still legal. Not only that, Artifact Scythe was basically was basically like the old school like Buster Lock, where your opponent wouldn't, they can't summon anything from the extra deck, which again, it's it's a pretty nasty card. I never would have imagined any of the artifacts would get hit. I never would have imagined, but they actually did. Agito, the ancient Sentinel, Kelbeck, the ancient Vanguard, Keldo, the Sacred Protector, Mudora, the Sword Oracle, Tearlaments, Havnus, Merly, and Shiren all got limited to 1, as did Ancient Fairy Dragon, with the new errata taking effect on March 10th. That was literally 2 months ago. It was literally right around this time 2 months ago. And that was it. Those are the only cards that got limited to 1. Nothing was taken to the semi-limits, but the cards that got taken off the list completely: Destrudo, Jet Synchron, Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion, Servant of Endymion, True King Lathosogen the Disaster, Yatagarasu, and Spiral Resort. Spirals have the potential to make it back onto the format. The problem is that Spiral Resort, Last Resort. I think Spiral Last Resort. I think it's his name. Is its name? Oh, sorry, Master Plan. Spiral Master Plan is still banned. So without Master Plan, Spirals, the Spiral decks, they're not as powerful as the deck would be without Master Plan. Another thing as well that also, okay, I don't know what the hell just happened. That was a loud boom. I don't know if you guys heard that boom. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I'm gonna have to take a look at that here in a bit. But anyway, as of right now, there are 3 decks that are still pretty broken in the format: Runic, Kashtira, Sprites. Sprites are still playable even though Elf is banned. And what's even more interesting is that with the last ban list before, I believe Ronin Totem? Yeah. The last ban list before this one, Ronin Totem got hit drastically, which meant that the Sprite Frog deck was no longer playable because without Ronin Totem, the deck doesn't do what it's supposed to do, because as you guys know, Ronin Totem, you banish a frog from your graveyard and you're able to and you special summon it. So it acts as like a Treeborn frog, but the only problem is that with Ronin Totem, it can miss timing. So obviously it gives your opponent a chance to activate cards such as Call By, Ghost Bell, just to name a couple. Where as opposed to Treeborn Frog, it can be activated during the standby phase, in which case your opponent could still use Ghost Bell and cards like Ghost Bell and Call By. The only thing is that those cards can also miss timing. So if you were to activate a card like, say, Ghost Bell, your opponent will have a chance to try and stop you from activating Ghost Bell. But again, Kashtira, Runic, Sprites are still 3 of the best decks in the format. And to show you guys the Kashtira, I'm going to show you mine. Give me 1 second. Because I actually did a deck profile on that not a while back. And if you guys haven't checked it out, y'all are missing out, because That deck was nasty. It was... It was pretty fucking nasty. Give me a second. Kashtira, here we are. So the idea for the Kashtira build is to just spam your board with a bunch of extra deck monsters and just push for game. That's the general idea of a Kashtira deck. And my deck consists of two Ogre, 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, 2 Scareclaw Kashtira, 2 Rise Heart, 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Bell, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Ready Fusion, a Heartbeat Feather Duster, 2 Mass Change 2, 3 Kashtira Theosis, 2 Book of Moon, 2 Chalice, 2 Lands, 3 Birth, 3 Pressured Planet Ratsoth, a Kashtira Big Bang, 2 Preparations, and a Judgment of Anubis. And my extra deck consists of Master Hero Divine Wind, Master Hero Acid, Sea Monster Thesis, as well as Magic Key Beast and Syllabolus, in which Thesis is the instant fusion target. Magic Key Beast is actually the ready fusion target, isn't it? No, other way around. Other way around. Magic Key Beast, instant fusion target, ready fusion target, Thesis. A Psychic and Punisher, a Baron de Fleur, and a Ancient Fairy Dragon. Obviously, if you don't have a way to get to your pressure planet, Ancient Fairy Dragon is probably your best bet. 2 Kashtira, a Rise Heart, a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, number 89 doubles the Mind Hacker, number 11 Big Eye, and 3 Kashtira Shangri-Ira. My side deck has 2 Nibiru, 2 Ghost Ogre, a Draco Berserker, a Cyframe Omega, Change of Heart, 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Enemy Controller, 2 more Judgment of Anubis, and 2 Solemn Warning. That's basically my build. And what's interesting about a deck like this is that your best board is gonna end up being a Rise Heart, 89, all 3 Shangri-Ira, and either a Psychic and Punisher or a Baron. That's like your best option. Or you can go a Rise Heart, triple Shangri-Ira, 89 and Red Eyes Flare, or you could go Divine Wind, Acid, Psychic and Punisher, Baron. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Red Eyes Flare and a Rise Heart. You know the possibilities are pretty much out there. It all depends on how you look at it, because decks like Kashtira, absolutely broken, absolutely horrifying to see, and I'm surprised that Konami didn't hit this deck with the recent, with the last ban we got, which was obviously the February 2023 list, which again I'm kind of surprised, but at the same time I'm not. So it comes down to what cards in all 3 decks need to get hit. Kashtira, obviously the biggest card that needs to get hit is obviously Shangri-Ira. That's one of the biggest cards out there because of the fact that if you pair it off with number 89, you activate number 89's effect. You detach one of your materials, whichever one you want, obviously. Look through your opponent's extra deck, banish one from it face down. This not only would this trigger all 3 of Shangri-Ira's effect, but it can also trigger off number 89's other effect, which means that you get to banish cards from the top of their deck again. This would also trigger Shangri-Ira's effect once again, which means you're literally locking 6 of your opponent's zones in one go. Which is absolutely nuts. So the idea would be for you, in that scenario, would be for you to banish 3 of their frontline zones plus 3 of their back row zones, and it means that yes, it would mean that your opponent can still play, but you would have to find a way to outthink them and try to lock the other 4 zones. The other four zones. That's where the Arise Heart comes into play because of its effect. Once per turn, you can also exceed summon Kashtira or Arise Heart by using 1 Kashtira monster control if an effect of Shangri-Ira was successfully activated this turn. Any card sent to the grave is banished instead. Once per chain, each time a card is banished, attach 1 banished card to this card as material. And once per turn, as a quick effect, detach 3 from this card, target a card on the field, and banish it. Again, this also triggers Shangri-Ira's effect, again, which means that you're able to lock even more of your opponent's zones. And I think, honestly, again, Shangri-Ira, Arise Heart, and in my honest opinion, as much as I love the card, number 89 are 3 of the biggest cards that need to get hit. It's not the main deck that's ruining the format. It's the extra deck of this deck. So if you think about it, those are the only 3 that need to get hit. Everything else is fine. Baron is essentially an Omni Negate. Psychic and Punisher can definitely just push for game depending on what your board looks like. And not only that, but Flare Metal Dragon can just deal damage every time a card is activated. Just deal your opponent 500, and you're good to go. So when you think about it, those are the top 3 that definitely need to get hit when it comes to Kashtira. As far as Runic goes, I never got the chance to look at some of the Runic decks. I'm gonna take a look here, and I'm gonna see about something. Runic. Okay, so right now, I'm looking. So I'm gonna take a look at some of these decks. Here's a top 16 Naturia Runic deck from the YCS in Vegas that showed up not long ago. So Naturia Runic has 3 Naturia Mole Cricket, 3 Camellia, 1 Sunflower, 3 Ash Blossom, a Kelbeck, Agito, and a Keldo. Okay. The spells, we got 3 Naturia Blessing, 3 Runic Tip, 3 Slumber, 3 Destruction, 2 Fountain, 3 Freezing Curses, 3 Flashing Fire, 3 Book of Eclipse, 3 Sacred Tree, and 3 Evenly Matched. That's the main deck? Holy shit. Extra deck has 2 Huggin, the Runic Wings, 2 Jerry, a Coral Dragon, a Sarge Charge Warrior, a Naturia Beast, a Naturia Barkion, Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, I take offense to that, a Baron de Fleur, a Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign She Ying, a Baguska, number 60 Dugaris the Timeless, Exciton Knight, and a Donor Dagger for Hire. And the side deck has 2 Bestial Magnum Hunt, 1 Druid's Worm, 1 Baldrake, 2 Ghost Bell, 3 Ghost Sister, 3 Dark Hole, and 3 Dimensional Barrier. Okay, so looking at this deck, the one thing that I find interesting is that is that all of the runic cards have effects where you banish cards from your from the deck, which is interesting because Runic Kashtira is another deck out there that can also just overpower the meta. So looking at this deck, I think the biggest card that needs to get hit, in my opinion, is probably, I wouldn't say it's Runic Tip. I would probably have to say it's Slumber. And the reason why I believe it's Slumber is because of the effect. Activate one of these effects, but skip your next battle phase after activation. Target one face of monster on the field. The next time that monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not. And it cannot attack this turn. And after applying this effect, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, or special summon a Runic monster from the extra deck to the extra monster zone. You can only activate Runic Slumber once per turn. Again, Slumber, Destruction, and I would say Freezing Curses. So Slumber has a really weird effect where it can protect your monsters from being destroyed by battle or card effect. Destruction has sort of like a MST effect, but on steroids, where you're able to banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. This would allow the Shangri era, the Shangri era number 89, combo to kick in. And come on, everyone knows that Kashtira Runic. Think about that, guys. Think about that. Two of the most powerful archetypes in the current format. Come on. That right there would clinch it. Freezing Curses, I think definitely has the potential to get hit on the ban list, because with this one, the effect is excuse me. Target one effect monster your opponent controls negates effects until the end of the turn. Then send the top 3 cards of your opponent's. Then banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. This is basically Imper. But in the form of a quick play spell. Flashing Fire, I feel like does have potential, but there's no way that it would. There's no way that it would get hit. You know what? I'm actually going to add this because I want to test it out. I want to give this a test run because I truly believe this deck might just be one of the newer meta decks. But aside from the spells, I think the Runic extra deck monsters are gonna be probably the biggest cards that need to get hit. Huggin and Jerry. I think in my opinion, those two, because of just how powerful they both can be. So Huggin's effect reads: if this card is special summon from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, add one Runic field spell from your deck to your hand. If another card you control would be destroyed by card effects, you can banish this card you control instead. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, return this card to the extra deck. I believe Jerry has the exact same effect. Oh, it does not. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is special summon from the extra deck, you can target a non-quick play Runic spell in your grave, add it to your hand. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. So, basically, you have ways to retract cards from your extra monster zone back into the extra deck. So I feel like as if, again, Slumber, Destruction, Freezing Curses, and Flashing Fire are going to be probably for the biggest cards. They're probably going to get limited to 1. Maybe, but they might also get banned. If if they get limited to one, odds are Huggin and Jerry are probably gonna get they'll probably get banned, which is possible, but we don't really know for sure. Now, as far as cards that I feel like should be taken off the ban list, I'm looking at the ban list right now, and don't get me wrong, a lot of these are pretty powerful, but I truly believe that Dandelion should be taken off the list. That's one of the biggest cards that needs to be taken off. And the reason I say that is because of one card that has been released, that has been revealed to be a jump promo, is gonna be in the format at some point. And that card is called Dandy White Lion, which is a 3-star Earth Plant with 300 attack and defense. And obviously the effect is a once per turn, and during their turn you activate the effect. You're not allowed to special summon monsters from the extra deck, which reads: if this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave, you can special summon 3 white fluff tokens, which are 1-star Wind Plant with 0 attack and defense. And this is actually part of the I believe this will be a part of the I believe this will be a part of the quarter century anniversary selection set, which I don't know if it will. But if you think about it, Dandy White Lion is basically Dandelion, but just a bit different. But it hits a little bit different. So I truly believe that Dandelion, with the amount of linked monsters in the current format that can abuse tokens, it's possible that Dandelion could come up, but we don't really know for sure. Another card as well that I feel like should be taken off the list, like potentially limited to one, and this might come as a bit of a shock, but the rest of the Dragon Rulers: Blaster, Redox, and Tidal. We already have Tempest. The reason being is because if you guys remember back in the day, I'm gonna show you guys Dragon Ruler. If you guys remember back in the day, back in the day, the Dragon Rulers completely dominated the meta. Like, they drastically dominated the meta when they were released in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. And to show off exactly what I mean, here's a deck that here's one here. I know that I'm on Nexus and you guys can't see it, but here, I'll do this. So that's basically the deck. The deck was absolutely nasty. The deck consisted of 3 Tidal, 3 Redox, 3 Blaster, 3 Tempest, 3 of all 4 Dragon Rulers, 2 copies of Stream, Dragon Ruler of Droplets, Reactin, Dragon Ruler of Pebbles, Burner, Dragon Ruler of Sparks, and a single copy of Lightning, Dragon Ruler of Drafts, plus a single copy of Dragunity Corseska, 3 Maxi, a Swift Scarecrow, and 3 Effect Veiler. The spells only feature 3 Super Rejuvenation, 3 Sacred Sword of 7 Stars, 2 Gold Sarcophagus, a Card Destruction, a Dark Hole, and a Heavy Storm. And the spells 2 Vanity's Emptiness. Yeah, Vanity's Emptiness was still legal back in the day. The extra deck would feature cards such as Armor Yarn, Ancient Sacred Wyvern, Black Rose Dragon, Crimson Blader, Colossal Fighter, Red Dragon Archfiend, Scrap Dragon, 3 Draco Sack, 3 Big Eye, a Mermail Abyss Gaios, and a Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. The side deck, it could be pretty much anything you want, but you wanted to build your side deck to go up against other Dragon Ruler decks. So for this one in particular, it would consist of Side Blocker, Swift Scarecrow, three Side Blocker, 2 more Swift Scarecrow, 3 MST, a Lightning Vortex, because obviously Raigeki was banned at that time. Last Day of Which in which the effect read, destroy all face-up spellcaster monsters on the field. Yeah. 3 Eradicator, a deck dev virus, and a 3rd Vanity's Emptiness. So yeah, again, it's possible that the Dragon Rulers could come back because of the fact that with Tempest still legal and in decks, you know, like Harpy and pretty much like any deck that has wind attribute monsters or just dragons in general, it's possible that the Dragon Rules can also come back. It's very possible. But another deck that I also forgot to talk about is Sprite. Sprites, honestly, there's really nothing to talk about except that I think Gigantic Sprite might need to get hit, which is possible. But as far as like what other cards could be potentially come off the list, this might also come as a shock. But Snatch Steal, I feel like with what we have in the format in terms of monster switching, you know like BrainCon effects, I feel like Snatch Steal might have the potential to come back, but I really don't see it happening anytime soon. But again, guys, it's hard to say what we can expect with this upcoming ban list. But I will say this. It's going to change the meta for the next, like, several months. And you guys know that with the February 13 list that we got, it drastically changed how people played Yu-Gi-Oh! But this one, it's hard to say. But again, guys, this brings me to the question of the day, which is this. What decks do you guys want to see get hit on the ban list? And what cards do you guys want to see get taken off the ban list? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.